Hi everyone, so today I'm going to be doing a shop Q&A. So I asked on Instagram if you guys had any questions and you guys had a lot of questions, so I'm doing a video on it. So this is going to be quite a long video, so I'm going to split it up into 3 sections. So I've got like shop in general, products, and then advertising and that kind of stuff. So I will leave all of the timestamps in the description so that you can just skip to the section that you want, or you can listen to it all. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this video and I'll just get on with it now. So just before I get into the questions, I wanted to do a quick overview. So hi, I'm Ruth Thompson. I own Kawaii Studios on Etsy. Etsy is like an online handmade marketplace, and my shop is Kawaii Studios, and I sell acrylic and polymer clay jewellery and charms and things like that. I probably started my shop like 4 years ago, but I only started selling seriously last year. I often take regular long breaks because I'm at uni and school and homework and assignments and life gets in the way, so I tend to go on breaks for a very long time. Currently I've been on break since March, so yeah, which obviously gets in the way, but yeah, so that's just a brief overview of my shop. So I'll just get into the questions. So the first section is just going to be running my shop in general and stuff. So the first question is, why did you name your shop Kawaii Studios? Now, I don't really have a specific reason. Like, it's called Kawaii because that's the type of art that I make. I mean, kawaii art, and studios is just a really nice professional word, and it made me think that I could have a studio one day. So it's nothing particularly specific about why I named it that, but I love the name of my shop, so yeah. So someone asked me how long it takes to restock, and honestly I couldn't tell you. Like I said at the beginning, I take a lot of breaks and it's hard to sit down and restock, so it's not like I sit down for 2 days straight and it's done, it's restocked. But if I was to be honest, if I was working like 9 to 5 every single day to restock a decent amount of charms, it would take me 4 days, 9 to 5 maybe, 4 days, a week, half a week, that kind of time frame. But it just depends how much time I have, and I never sit down and do it properly because it's long and tedious. So yeah, I don't actually know how long it takes me. This is the question I get a lot, is do you do custom orders? I have done in the past and I do sometimes, but because whenever anybody asks, I'm always like halfway through trying to restock, and that's all I want to focus on. I haven't been taking them for about a year now, and honestly they're not my comfort zone. They make me kind of nervous. Another question was, do you feel pressured when you're making custom orders? And yes, I do. I'm not good doing something that I haven't made before, or I don't make all the time. I usually do custom cupcake orders because that's something that I'm good at. Like I've got a base of foundation of knowledge about that kind of charm. Usually I don't, but maybe in the future I might open up my custom orders again because they are really fun, and I've made some really cool stuff from custom orders, but they, like I said, do make me kind of uncomfortable. So I got a lot of questions on pricing and how to include shipping and materials and stuff like that. And like I said, this is kind of a technical question, and I was going to go over the maths in this video, but it's going to take a very long time, and this video is already going to be super long. So if you want me to do a video on that, I'm thinking about combining that with the next question and making a video just on that. So let me know in the comments. So the next question is, how do I take my photos? What's my setup for taking photos? Because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have a completely white background on all of my pictures, unless they're, you know, decorative or whatever. And honestly, to tell you the truth, I just use a DSLR camera and a white piece of paper, and it comes out looking awful all the time. And so basically I just edit and edit. I have never been particularly good at taking photographs. I've never sat down and bothered to learn all the f-stops and apertures and all that stuff, which means I tend to come up with very, very ugly photos, but I am very good at editing. So if you want me to do a process of how I do that, then please let me know, because I'd like to help you all cheat as well. So yeah, I don't have like a setup, I don't have a studio, I don't have studio lighting or anything like that. I use natural daylight and a lot of editing. So yeah, if you want me to do a video on that, again, let me know. Another question is, what do you ship your charms in? I ship them in a bubble mailer. Well, I put them in a small cellophane bag first, which goes into a decorative bag with my business card, and that goes into a bubble mailer with a stamp and all the rest of it. So yeah, not too technical, but yeah. And I really love, someone asked if I liked packaging things, and I love it. I love owning a shop. I always used to play shops when I was like a little girl. I had a till and all that stuff. I had like 6 tills actually. And I love it. I love the little bags, and I love bubble wrap, and I love it all. So yes, I do actually really enjoy packaging. That's like one of my favourite things about owning a shop. Another question is, what is your biggest order that you've ever shipped? And that was really recently, and I shipped about 90 pieces of Actually, it was a mix of polymer clay and acrylic, mostly acrylic pieces, but yeah, I shipped about 90 pieces to someone over in America, which was, it was awesome. Like, I'll show you a photo now. It was incredible. Like, I really enjoyed that, and it was such a challenge to do it. Well, not actually a challenge, but it was just really fun, and I'd never done like a big wholesale kind of order. So yeah, that's the biggest one I've ever done so far. So the last question in this little section is, when my shop reopens, how many orders do I usually get? It depends how long I've been closed for. Last time, I can't remember how long I was closed for, not as long as this time, I don't think, but say if I'm closed for like a couple of months, maybe a month, I mean, last time I got like 30 orders, but I opened in the evening, so it's kind of like, I don't know actually if it went over midnight or whatever, but yeah, I say 30. Like, it was pretty ridiculous last time, and I was not expecting that at all, like at all. So this time I'm hoping it's going to be better, but I don't, that's such a weird thing to see my products being so popular. So yeah, I got about 30 orders last time I reopened, so I'll let you know how many I get this time. So the next section is about my products and things that I make. So by far the most requested thing that I ever have is a tutorial on my acrylic charms, and for the last time, they're not clay. So people always ask me where I get them made, how they're designed, what they are. So basically, here's a little close up of it. These acrylic charms are acrylic plastic. It's like a very easy to use, malleable, not too, well, not sturdy, but I mean easily cut plastic. It's usually the plastic that you get given at school if you ever do woodshop, or not woodshop obviously because it's plastic, but you know, DT or anything like that. That's kind of the plastic that is what these charms are made of. So basically, I designed them on Photoshop using my graphics tablet and my fingers and my mind and all that stuff, and then I send it to a company who then prints it and cuts it out and deals with all that stuff, and then they send it to me, and then I attach it to whatever I'm going to be selling it as. Lots of people ask me where I get them done. I'm a strong believer that if you are going to sell a product, that you need to do your own research in finding where it gets made. It's not hard. I mean, just Google acrylic charms. There are quite a few companies that will do it for you, but I will not disclose the people that I work with, just because, again, I'm a strong believer that people should, you know, do their own research, because it took me a while to find someone that I like, that you know, that I liked, and I got samples and all this stuff. So I'm leaving that up to you, but that's all of the information I can give you. That's how they're made, that's what they are, that's how you can find them on Google. So yeah, finally. So I got a lot of questions about what I'm going to be selling in the future on Kawaii Studios, and acrylic charms are sort of the first step into a world that isn't entirely made of clay. I will still be selling clay, obviously, but I've got big ideas for phone cases and sticker. I've already made a sticker sheet design that you can see right here, which I really love, and I'm going to be getting that samples of that done very soon. But yeah, phone charms, bags, purses, mirrors, phone cases, sticker sheets, lip balms. I've got an idea for everything. So hopefully sticker sheets are the closest thing that's going to be happening, and then probably phone cases, but I'll have to see. Basically, it's all depends on what happens and how much time I have and stuff. So another question that I get a lot is it tedious to make the same charms over and over again? And yes, it is. I'm not someone that has a lot of patience with this kind of thing. I don't have much patience at all. So making the same charm is very, very boring, but it's rewarding in the end. To have like a handful of cupcakes is one of the most rewarding things ever. So it is definitely worth it, but it is very tedious sometimes, yes. Another question that I get asked a lot is how long does it take me to make each charm? So obviously everything takes a slightly different amount of time, but roughly every charm takes me about, a cupcake can take between like 15 to 25 minutes, which sounds kind of ridiculous, but that's just the time it takes. Toasts can be less time than that, 10 minutes each. Stars are much less than that, they're about 5 minutes each. But I do make things in bulk, so I'll make like 15 stars in an hour, say, just roughly. I don't actually know if that's true, but and obviously if I was just making one star, it would take me more time. The next question is, do I get offended when I see people making charms inspired by me or from me or my idea? This is kind of a hard question, because obviously I make tutorials on things, so I'm sort of giving you permission to make things that I've made, if that makes any sense. But I do, you know, you can't help but get attached to things. So when people make stars is not an original idea at all. So it's always that, like, the things I make are not original at all. So I have no claim over them particularly, but it is one of those things where it's kind of hard to see someone making something that is very clearly, inspired by you. I find a lot of times the moon, again, not original, not hard to make, but a lot of times I see people trying to sell it and it's like, it's clearly my design, like the placement of the dots, and if you've seen this tutorial you know what I'm talking about, you know, the placement of the dots and the indents and stuff is exactly, you know, they haven't even tried to change it. So it is hard, but, you know, I have had people message me saying, you know, I know this is your design, would you be okay if I sold it? And in those instances, if you're polite, if you're kind, if you're nice, and you understand, then usually I will say yes, just because it's one charm and they're not, you know, basing their entire shop off me. But yeah, it gets hard, but you've got to realise that, you know, you're not even the first person to do your original ideas, if that makes any sense. You know, nothing's original. So it is hard sometimes, but I think it's worth it in the long run to see people just making stuff. So yeah. So the next question is, what is my best-selling charm? Which again, a lot of people wanted to know, and honestly I can't tell you. Things that are popular are the pink and mint cupcakes, the yellow and pink stars, the poop, and then the post-it note is definitely my best-selling acrylic charm for sure. But yeah, it's really hard because I sell quite a lot of stuff, and yeah, but those are the most popular pieces at least. A lot of people also wanted to know, do I mess up on things that I always make? Yes, I mess up constantly. Like it's not a thing where just because I've made so many things I don't mess up. I mess up a lot, so yeah, I mess up a lot. And then the next question is, how quickly do you go through a block of vanilla clay? If you don't know, the vanilla is the colour that I use for everything, vanilla from Fimo. And honestly, if I'm actually, you know, working and actually making stuff constantly, it won't take me that long. It'll take me a day, or no, it will take me 2 days. Saying it would take me 2 days to finish a block of vanilla clay. If I'm making those kind of things for the shop, then yeah, it'll take me like 2 days. So the last section I'm going to be talking about is advertising, social media, and that kind of thing. So I'll just get on with the questions. So a lot of the questions were sort of the same. It was basically, how did you expand your customer base? How do you advertise? Have you ever paid for advertising, anything like that? So basically, I only have my Instagram. My Instagram is basically the only place that I advertise, but that's not so much advertising. It's just, you know, my shop has an account. I have been very lucky that I started here on YouTube, so I already had like a fan base or a subscriber base to start off with, so that they then followed me over to Instagram, and obviously that dominoed, and you know, and now I have like 53,000 followers on Kawaii Studios account, which is just insane. But it's just one of those things that I post regularly. I post high quality photos, I keep them updated, I show customer photos to keep a community kind of based shop. So it's just one of those things where I was very lucky to already have a, you know, a solid base of people following me to then really grow my shop and stuff. But advertising, I've never paid for advertising. I know a lot of people, depending on what you sell, I would never ever be in a magazine, but I know like Glamour and you know, all those women's magazines, they do email a lot of my friends a lot of the time asking them if they want to advertise, and you pay a certain amount of money and you'll be in the back section with all the adverts. But I've never, even if I was offered it, I don't think I'd do it, just because if you're really smart about it, you can just use Twitter, Facebook and Instagram, and you'll be done. You won't need any kind of advertising past that. But yeah, I just find that through customer photos and contests and stuff, I already generate enough traffic and advertising through Instagram, so they don't really need to bother with that kind of thing. But you'll just have to experiment, see what works. So the next question is, how long did it take you to get a steady flow of customers? Like I said in the beginning, my shop is always closed. Not always closed, but it takes regular breaks. So I can't tell you if I actually have a steady flow of customers, because I never have my shop open enough to find out if I have a steady flow of customers. Honestly, I don't think I would. I think that, you know, when I reopen, I have a hype of orders and then it completely dies down. Whereas, you know, if people would just find me as they find me, they'd order kind of thing. But no, I don't think I have a steady flow of customers, so I can't really answer that question. So yeah. But it is incredibly hard to have a steady flow of customers, I have to admit that. But again, I think it's very much being active on social media and wherever you advertise, obviously. So yeah. So a really great question that I was assuming more people would actually ask is, how do I get noticed on Etsy? Because there is a huge amount of polymer clay artists on Etsy, and there is a huge amount of polymer clay food artists on Etsy, which means that, you know, it's very hard to get noticed. So basically, the things that I would recommend is tag and title your listings properly and have high quality photos, and make sure that your thumbnail is easy to see and intriguing and enticing and all that stuff. So as for tags, it's kind of confusing, and for me to go into detail now, it will make the video very, very long. So I will link you to a video that my friend Heather made. She's incredible. She's an incredible artist with polymer clay anyway, but she has made some very, very detailed videos on how she runs her shop, or used to run her shop, because sadly it's stopped now. But yeah, and she went into a whole very, very detailed video with loads of description, and she was showing you firsthand how tags help and stuff. So I will leave all of the videos that she's made that I think will help you guys in the description, and also if I find anything on pricing or anything like that, because I know Etsy has a lot of articles that they've made themselves on how to price handmade items. So yeah, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, if you have any more questions or want me to do a video on how I photograph and edit my photos, how I price things, that kind of thing, then please let me know in the comments down below. And also if you have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, then please also comment down below and I will answer them for you there. So thank you for watching and sticking around. I know this video was very long. If you want to check out my shop or any of my social media, that kind of thing, the links are all in the description, and on the screen now is my last video, so if you want to go check that out, then just click on the screen now as well. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.